Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer, and this is Bobcat. So Bobcat is going to my buddy Colin, who actually has my VKS build Retribution. If anybody was around that long ago and remembers that one, very old build actually. So I'm not sure exactly how old, but it's definitely way back there. And still in service. Good times. So this one, obviously FSC Carbine. It's got the extended magazines. We got a Hogue grip. It's got the carbine rail kit, First Strike carbine rail kit. It's got a 4-inch handguard with a C-cut, and as you can see, I put one of the MCS, I don't know what you'd call these things. It's kind of like a muzzle brake, whatever. They got some weird name for it, I think. But anyway, so this has a 9-inch smoothbore 6.86 barrel. We've got a 13 CI carbon fiber tank that I shimmed to 1100. Doesn't look like exactly 11 there, but I assure you it's 1100. I'll probably post a picture of it on the actual gauge. That's the on-off ASA from Home Defense 24. Obviously, it's got the rear air ASA as well. This one actually works, so, you know, they don't work great, but a lot of them don't work at all. This one works. This one you could actually use, but so he can actually take that off and just use this if he wants to, whatever. I would probably run it with the better one. Plus, this tells you your output pressure. So it's important to remember, and I'm sure Colin knows this, but just to throw that out here, this gauge is telling your pressure output of your tank regulator. This gauge is telling your fuel pressure. All right, so that one 4,500, this one 1,100, roughly. A little bit off, but it's like, you know, 1,000 and like 90, something like that. Anyway, we got the Exalt stock. Yeah. So carbon fiber, so 13 CI, same size as a 13 CI aluminum, but the difference with carbon fiber, you could pump it up to 4,500 PSI, so it holds more pressure, therefore you get more shots out of it for the same volume. What else can I tell you about it? One thing I had to do, this one is going to him like this, it's going naked, because he already has his own optic set up and everything, and a vertical grip. Basically, he's got everything he wants to put on it already. So, one thing I had to do with this, I had to actually mill the barrel nut that comes with the carbine rail kit to get it to actually fit in here. So I had to basically grind an angle on it so that it would fit flush, which I did. And yeah, that's about it. So this one is obviously just itching for V3s. So let's go put some through it. Now, to take the barrel out of this, you do have to unscrew the barrel tipper, the flash hider, muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it in this case. So, thanks to my boy John Dowie for sending me a bag full of aluminum stuff. We'll hopefully test that out in something. And this knife, which we're going to use to open this bag. And thanks to Dawson Dave for sending me a couple of bags of Grimburg Jewel V3s. So good times there. So these are, we'll go ahead and check, but these are 7.9, 7.89. .91. We're going to call them 7.9. 7.91. 7.91. We'll just call them 7.9. There's not going to be any difference. And that would actually... Now remember on these, when you get down to the bottom here of this mag, you actually have to reach around here and flip that little thing out of the way so that it can go on down. Then once you get past here, you can go ahead and pull it on down and latch it in at the bottom if you want, and fill it on up. However you want to do it. Not a big deal. Just do what you want. Alright, so there we go there. I will have to calculate these. I've yet to update my chart to the V3s. Definitely like the V3s better than the V2s. They're awesome. Seems like the size is a little better as far as the QC, quality control on the size. Oh yeah, we've got the Home Defense 24 ASA there. Cut that baby on. 380 deuce. Let's see what that is. So that's 53.27. Well, 386 there. Very important to remember when you, even though you're using this and you wouldn't have to necessarily take this apart. You know, like if you didn't have anything on it, take it apart so it's not got any pressure on it. You still want to take this apart and spray some silicone lube or a couple of drops of lube into the little hole. It's important to keep these things well lubricated. That's a good way to pop O-rings, so bear that in mind. And that is 54.39. I don't even know that I think I've got this back a little bit. I did. But it might be better. You never know. She just keeping climbing. Right. So that's 54.96. Cracked them a lot, it did. I think we about out of gas. No, we're not. Yeah, there we go. Golly. Oh, we're out of bullets though. All right, I picked up the ammo. So I do have a little something going on here with the ASA. Not sure. I'll have to check on that. I do have another one, but she heard how it sounded like it was out of gas, like doo, doo, doo. So as you can see, we basically have hardly any pressure left. But yeah, we do. So obviously there's some kind of issue in there. So yeah. Nothing to do with the gun. Shouldn't be anything to do with the tank. Pretty sure it's that. But we'll find out. I dread this. This is a lot of pressure. Oh. Wow. Okay. Let's see, just out of curiosity. Okay, I don't want to put any more air or anything in it. I want to test it just like it is. Because, I mean, you know, according to this, it's still got quite a bit anyway. Hey, there's that lubrication stuff I was talking about. Okay, so in this case, once it engages, once you feel it tighten up, you're going to turn it about a quarter turn more or so to make sure it don't back out. So obviously, our stock is not going to be in the right place. For the purpose of this, we're just going to go ahead and take that off. All right, so got this baby mostly filled back up. Thought it was seeming to hit a little weak there until I took a pause. Now, some of these don't have like the best airflow through them. So like rapid firing one of these, you can actually, the older ones didn't seem to be a problem, but the newer ones, they seem to not have the best airflow through them. So you get the full amount of power, but like if you're rapid firing, they don't have time to catch up, and you'll hear like air leaking out, you know, when you disengage, like what you did there too. That's part of this, not the not the on-off ASA, or the other on-off ASA. I guess technically this is an on-off ASA as well. So we'll see if that. I didn't hear much going on there. Why not? Straight through it. So we're still hitting 384. So good times. And like I say, this is, had several shots through it. Just about went through it that time. All right. Good times. Here, let's see here. Where are we down to? Down to 3,000 now. So now we got as much as an aluminum tank left in it. So we're down to 354 now, obviously. Well, 374. 378. Let me see what that is. Of course, obviously, as it gets down in the tank, you're going to lose power or whatever. But let's just see for the heck of it, when you're down to 3,000, what you're getting. So even down that much, we're still hitting 52 joules. So I'm going to call that a win on everything except this guy. This guy's toast, obviously. All right. Guys, this is DK Spencer. Y'all like and subscribe, son. Okay, I'll quit. I got you. All right, you guys thought I was finished, but since we're at it, I got some grape drink and some more air, and let's see. So, and I'm going to do that for you guys, what I'm getting ready to explain on the video. I should have waited and done it on the video, but I didn't think. So anyway, I cut this ASA off, fired one last shot to clear it out, and it worked. Well, here, don't do this at home. But, yeah, okay. It was in a safe direction. I swear it was. So anyway, now let's cut her on. No good click or anything, but still, whatevs. Live for the click. Straight through, son. 376. Almost through. 388. That's back to what? 54.9 something. Here, let me see. So yeah, 54.96. So might as well say 55 at that point, but Tractor. Whoa! Hello! So yeah, maybe that's the reason I wanted to do this, because I was thinking, well, if that thing was causing all that power loss and whatever, then we might actually get more power than we thought. And guess what? We did. We sure did. So that's 56.67. 56.67. And that is 26 gauge steel. Yes, 26 gauge steel. Straight through it. Woo, 392. Now what do we do? Sometimes you'll have that and you just need to start over. I'll have to change O-ring on this one. Look at that though. Whoopsie. There we go. That's nice. I don't know why. I'm not even paying attention to this thing. How many have I got left in here? Where are we at pressure wise? Oh, still plenty. So this one, I changed the regulator on it. I was actually getting frustrated with it when I was building it. I had a bad regulator from the factory, and I actually left it charged for over a week. It still had pressure and everything. So it has stayed charged for over a week with this O-ring. So before I send it, and that's exactly what's going on, I'm sure, it was sitting there charged against the O-ring for literally over a week on 1100 PSI, which is a no-no. So, you know, that being said, he probably needs a new O-ring. Killed it. All right, good times. So, yeah, if you ever have that like that, that means one of two things. You're running out of air, or you need a new main O-ring on your heat core. So, bear that in mind for all you people that are wondering. All right, have some great drink and enjoy yourselves. Y'all, this is DK Spencer. Y'all like and subscribe. Oh, yeah, y'all didn't tell me I was supposed to show you this. So, cut that down all the way. One last shot. Now she's empty. So that ASA actually works pretty well. So I guess if this was mine, I'd probably just leave it exactly like that. Obviously with a new O-ring though. All right, y'all. Bye. Okay, so, you know, this video was supposed to be stopped like 3 cuts ago, but anyway, you know, whatever. Let's go ahead and just do it all at once. So this is how that you change that O-ring I was talking about. So, you know, go ahead, cut your ASA off, pull the trigger in a safe direction, get the remaining air out, take your tank off. We're going to set it somewhere we don't mess it up. Okay. Then you're going to actually first, this will be a good video for Colin in case he ever has to crack the thing open, or he can just send it back to me or whatever. But honestly, if you get used to doing these where you can do it yourself, it's a lot better than, you know, having to ship something and wait on it. Because I tell you what, it is slow. It is. And I appreciate everybody, you know, being patient with me. I don't do this as a job. I don't do this to make a living. I do this stuff for fun. So look how that's sexy. I love that. Look, it fits like perfect. So if I didn't have this, and that's what I was talking about, milling that, you know, to where that handguard would fit. But you could run it just like that. That's actually pretty sweet. Get the oil off of it, especially if it didn't have the, you know, little stainless thing there, but it's kind of cool looking. So anyway, you have to take that off, and well, you also want to take your mag out and take any remaining balls out. Get that out the way. All right, once you take your the reason you got to take that off is because you got to push down and turn to get rid of that. So there's that. And you can't obviously push down and turn if that's on there and it fits flush. Duh. All right. Then you're going to take this here screw out the bottom. Just like that right there. You can actually, I believe you can get away with just loosening these a bit. And you're going to take the big screw out of the end of your top rail. You don't have to take the other ones out, just that one. See, look how easy that was. All right, while we're using this size, we can go ahead and take this back one out. Okay. And switch down to the smaller size and take these two little guys out. Okay. Now, that all comes apart like that. And we're going to take that off. Unscrew this guy. All right. Get the spring out of the way. Take these three guys out. Seven eighths inch. Alright, pull that guy out. Then we're going to take us two 7/8 wrenches. Take the chamber cap off the back. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that O-ring is looking kind of, that actually, that might be part of the, I doubt it. It's acting like it's the mill sig, but because if that one was leaking, you'd be hearing it out the back. So no, but I'm going to put another one on there. Wow, like magic. All right, so now. And this one is performing pretty well. It just had the occasional, so we're probably not going to see anything wrong with this O-ring. We can inspect it and see. Obviously, it's got something wrong with it now. It's had a friggin' thing stuck in it. But, you know, I don't see anything wrong with it. But that don't mean anything. If you could see something wrong with it, we would have had a lot more problems than we did. So anyway, we're going to use a Wixon tool. Some laceration grease. Like to get it good and slathermed up there. Yeah, I made that word up. And just pop it right down in there. While I've got this off, and like I said, it's never a problem on a. Oh, ha ha, ha ha. Well, there's the problem, and I've never had that happen on a FSC, but that was our problem. That freaking pin was loose as heck. Wow. Never, ever, ever. Now, VKS, different ball game. Hold that thought. I got to get the grease off me. All right. So, now, when I say I've never had that problem, that's not to say I've not heard of other people having that problem, but I've built a lot of FSCs, a lot of FSC carbines, and I personally have never had that happen. Now, I've probably had that happen on VKS's, I don't know, 30 times. But that's why that a VKS, step one is take it apart, Loctite that pin. And then the other thing is, even after you do that, you still break it down and check that thing periodically. Again, personally, never had that happen on one of these. But also, a good lesson that when you take anything like this apart, VKS's, M17s, anything, you should check to make sure your pin is tight, because there's a lot of pressure and stuff on that. So, okay, that one is tight. So, what I will do with this one is I will take everything apart, clean it in a sonic cleaner. heat it up, get all the junk out, and I'll re-Loctite that pin to the the bolt. So anyway, it's been a long day. So just to save time, in this case, what we're going to do is just use a new one. And you always want to make sure that your O-ring. So the O-ring, I probably just wasted an O-ring because that was the problem. I knew the problem was a slight leak in this area, all right, because of just the way it behaved. So your pin being a little bit loose is going to cause the same thing as your O-ring being a little bit cracked. So anyway, now did leaving it charged cause that to happen? I don't see how it could have, but maybe something did. So anyway, we'll reassemble this. Kind of glad we did, because this is definitely kind of glad all this happened, because this is definitely an educational experience here. So this is one long video. I've already said, hey guys, this is DK Special, like and subscribe, like I don't know how many times now, but you know, screw it, we'll just keep going. So all right, that's tightened back up. Let's make sure I wasn't talking and not doing what I was supposed to be doing. Okay, got that good and snugged. Put a little extra grease on these guys. Again, I use the First Strike laceration grease because I like the way it makes spots on my clothes. Oh, it's got a cute little tin, whatever. Oh. So once you put your O-ring in, you want to be able to slide this. There should be some resistance, but not much. If you can't pretty easily do it with two fingers like that, then you've got it in wrong. It's not seated correctly or whatever. If it's too tight, that means it's not seated correctly. So go ahead and put it on just enough to get it to stick. It's just barely. That's pre-advancing it for your regulator. Push that baby in like that. Tighten this baby down like this. All right, now I'll put this regulator back on. So I've said this before, but when you're putting the regulator on, if you don't have your bolt slid up on your heat core to where this part here fits in between here, in between that, so when you put your spring and your barrel in, it pushes it back past that, and that is essentially cocking it. So it won't cock if you don't have it advanced up in front of your regulator like that. So you're going to go ahead. Tighten that guy down. Put this back in. Flat screw goes in the back. Wish I would have washed my hands. Alright, now we're going to put the small screws in the side because we got to wait a minute to do the other. Let's get this stuff out of the way. All right, so you've got 3 screws that hold this this on, and in the bottom little hole right there, that's where your O-ring goes, which you can see it's right there. Once you have this on the first time, once you get it in the right place the first time, it'll usually kind of stick in the right place, and you don't have to. It's not as big a deal. Not as big a deal getting it in the right place the second time. Don't tighten one all the way down. You get them all kind of evenly done, and that's kind of the rule with anything. Okay. All right. Now, at this point, we can go ahead Drop this guy back on. Alright, put your big screw back in here. Sorry for hitting the camera stand. Snug these two front screws down. Don't go overboard with these guys. They're not the most robust screws. Okay. Now listen, you can hear it cock. Hear it? Alright, she's cocked. Alright, at this point, you can actually test it if you want to. Well, we'll test it. A lot of times I'll test them to make sure I don't have a leak back here or anything, but we're not going to do that right now. Okay. I'll do a little trick here to make sure that I get the handguard completely straight. I usually put on a sling loop. And that's just a mag pull sling loop. But if you put that on, it keeps it from twisting. So then, because when you actually get it down to the very tight, at the end when it's really tight, a lot of times it'll shift a little bit on you. And if you have something like that on your rail, and you can use a lot of different stuff, but that's what I use. Okay. All right. All right. For all intents and purposes, we're ready to rock and roll again. Now, I do want to say two things about this. So, not only was the bolt in this one from the factory bad or went bad extremely quick, but also the regulator in this one was bad. So this one's got a bolt from a different one and a regulator from a different one. So the original one was, for all intents and purposes, a dud. Hopefully not anymore. Okay, so... And I went ahead actually on the way in here and decided to pop that out and put a VKS spring in it. But so I did that just cause, and we're gonna test and see if we are now where we needs to be. So Joule V3s. It might have more power. I doubt it. Could. But as long as it works correctly, that's all that we're worried about. Huh. Well, let's see. Like I say, it could. Alright, so that's 57.82. We're almost to 58 now. By the way, with the other regulator, I was hitting 45. Consistency, son. Consistency. I don't think there's any problem with functioning now. I don't know how much more is in there. Oh, good call. Good call. That was empty. All right, guys. For real this time. DK Spencer. Y'all like and subscribe.